Hello troglodytes, and welcome back to another video. So, in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the awesome window manager on Arch Linux. I've never really tried using just a window manager before, so this will be an experience. So yeah, on to the video. Disk configuration, partitioning. Use the best effort, default. Yeah, that's always a good idea. And put it onto our... Yeah. So we're going to install this to the SD card, as always. I think there was some Fedora installed on there before. Or maybe it was a Red Hat thing I was using for a class, but yeah. That's what we're going to do onto generic power saving USB, which is the 128 gigabyte SD card. Yeah, default structure, do that. Okay, so... Okay, here we go. So I want it to be a desktop. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. The first thing that it... the first thing it tells you there. Interesting. Oh, Neari's in there too. Okay, LXQT, QT, Plasma, i3, Hyperland, GNOME, Enlightenment. Yep. I guess awesome is first because alphabetical order. A. So that's what we're gonna do. Selected awesome graphics driver, all open source greeter. Do I have to choose a greeter? I guess I can use a greeter. I don't know. Maybe this will be wrong. We're gonna use... I don't know. That one. We'll see what happens. We might have to reinstall this. Let's see what happens. I might have to try this again, but we'll see. Okay. Awesome box. So there's that. Here's my greeter. I log in. Oh. Whoa, that's cool. I think it worked. Do I have a mouse cursor? I do. Awesome. So, yeah, the reason why I selected the awesome window manager is because it, for someone who's never used a tiling window manager before, from what I read, this one came with some default features on here. So at least you're not starting completely from scratch, and we can kind of explore what it comes with, and then we can see how we can set this up. So, yay, Arch Linux. 355, that's so few packages. HDMI, 1080p, awesome, X11, and wait a cursor, interesting, I like pretty. 642 megabytes. Yeah, it doesn't use very much RAM, does it? External. Yeah, that is an external file system. That is sort of true. Alright. So, looks like we have 9 virtual desktops here. So let's go back to desktop 1. And by default, it gives me not a lot. So hotkeys. Manual, edit, restart, and quit. I guess let's go to hotkey. Whoa. So control for R for reload awesome. Okay. That was instant. We can do that. Super enter. Okay, so I can do this. I can open terminal windows all day long. Oh, hello. So I can, so if I drag this to the side, it will tile it that way. Also this, which is now up here, which I can now close. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay, so that is totally working then in this. Okay, yeah, no, it's tiling. That's pretty cool. Okay. Mod 4 is your Windows key. So between you can change the mod key if you want, but I don't want to do that. Next term window, you can, of course, use your favorite terminal if you like. Again, more on that later. Now press Mod Shift C. Okay. Okay, so I can do that. Start closing all this stuff. Okay. Okay. The Mod Shift C will close all your stuff. I can do Mod Shift Space to... Yeah, so that is totally doing that. So if I open a whole bunch of more terminals, now I can... Whoa, I can change the layouts this way. Which is interesting, I guess. So yeah, I'm just pressing Super Shift Space here. And that is tiling or cycling between all these different layouts. Alright, see if doing this as sudo will work this time. So, what we have to do in order to change the theme is go down to this line. And I've already copied, so what it wanted me to do was to copy... So copy the theme from your user/share/awesome/theme/default theme.lua, or there's multiple other themes in there, but you can copy them to your config-awesome folder. And then in theory, in order to change the theme, I just need to edit this line that instead says beautiful.init /home/user. And then theory, and save this. There we go. So now we can do that, and then if we go over here, if we reload, I think this is already running the oh. All right, well, I think that might have broken it. We might have broken it by doing that. Oh, no, never mind, because it's definitely different, but now it's just mad at me. Okay, so I think what the problem was, when I edited the config file, I put /user instead of my actual user account, and that's why it's mad at me here, because it's like, we don't know what you're trying to do. So, we're gonna try the Zenburn theme in a second, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna CP mouse. Okay, I know it's, we're gonna fix that, okay? Don't worry. You don't have to keep telling me the error happened 700 times. I realize what I did wrong. So, to my areas /home/trog. That's what I want to do. So in theory now, if I were to reload this, okay, that worked. Okay, yep. That was the problem. Okay, I just had Trog set instead of I just had that config file set incorrectly. Okay, so now that we've kind of got everything set up in a basic format here, what I would like to do is get some software installed. So before we just installed Firefox, just to kind of see what would happen, and I can do this. So I can see if this will work. So I have my run dialog, and I can. Yeah, so I can open Firefox that way. But, I guess we can see. So, because basically the point of these window managers is you can kind of like turn them into your own custom desktop environment. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab my favorite bits and pieces from other desktop environments and just try to mash them in here, and I guess we'll see what'll happen. We'll do sudo app. Oh, whoops. FCE or that works, but it opens in a full screen thing because sure. There it is, Firefox HTOP. So now what we might want to do is see if we can't bind this app finder to just the super key, which would be cool. I don't know, because those all have end, comma, 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 comma. Maybe I don't want to do it that way. I guess we'll do it this way, because that's how all the other ones look like. And we'll see. Okay, well, let's see if we get what happens if we reload this then. That will break every... Well, that just broke the whole computer, so... Okay, so I have reinstalled the system now, so it's exactly like it was before, I think. So I think instead of messing with the config file, we can do things other ways. So this is set back up again. I think I'm happy with this default theme, to be honest. I kind of like it. So we're not going to worry about other stuff. Okay. Do it that way. Oh, okay. Rofi is unsure what you want to show. Yes, is much better. Please specify the mode you want to show. Okay. So, Rofi show mode. Rofi dash show. Alright, so that's showing me what's open right now. Interesting. I can enter different windows if I want. There's only the one window. So, what's the difference? So there's show run, I've seen. And there's show run. I see. That's definitely more what I want. Okay, so this other thing says we're going to use SXHKD. I guess we'll try that. We want to create, and then we want to use touch to create a file in our home slash. SXHKD. Or see, this is just gibberish. I'm typing gibberish. So make directory /config. Make directory /config. SXHKD. SXHKD. And then touch -config. SXHKD. SXHKD. SXHKDRC. SX. Yes. Okay. Then. Okay. Thank you, KDE. Okay. So you need to enter a few key commands. Okay. So, each time you make edits to this file, you need to restart the daemon for it to read any new changes you've made. Thankfully, we can set a hotkey for doing that right inside the config file itself. Ah, so this is going to restart the thing. So I guess I'll create the title here. Well, now it works. Okay, so that did work. It just didn't start the thing. So it just didn't start that when the system booted up. But it did work. Okay, so that totally worked. I just have to. Right. Okay, so that did work. It just needs to make sure that this thing boots with the system. And then what we have to do is we have to make a an auto start script that'll actually auto start the app when you launch the system. So I'm going to do to make my life easier. So I don't think we actually installed a web browser on this system this time. So we're going to reopen Discover, install LibreWolf, and from there, oh, hello. Everything's a terminal. All right. So let me enter, because the default key configuration they wanted to use would have been super space, and that would have messed up my tiling stuff, and I kind of don't want to do that. So, okay. Well, it's there. So will it show up? Yep, there it is, LibreWolf. Cool. Oh, there it is. All right, so let's go to our. Okay. So, all right, so let's create the auto start script. Okay. Just go through all the configurations. What we're gonna try to do. Okay. So what it says to do is just do this. Okay. In theory, that exists. Yep, here it is, scripts. Awesome, autostart.sh. It doesn't automatically wanna... That's okay. Alright, things are getting complicated. So, we have that set up. Then what it says to do is make that script executable. Do that. Okay, so we made that executable. And now we want to go. And now we do want to go to our lua.rc file. Okay, so, and then it says at the very end of the file, it says auto start apps. That's what it recommends that I do. And I guess we'll see what'll happen. So now it says to save your changes, press Super Shift Q, and then log out and log back in again. So, oh, yay! All right, we got Rofi working, boys. We have Kate, we have Dolphin, we have LibreWolf, we have other stuff on here that I might want. I have some other stuff on here too. But yeah, so that all seems to be working fairly well. I'm not sure if I'm entirely sold on the whole window manager thing, because I can have it floating, which I guess is nice, but there's not like a minimized option. I don't know, it's a bit weird. But it does work though, I guess, so I can't complain too hard. It'd be nice if I could, I don't know. It works. I have my big accomplishment of getting Rofi to open and be configured how I wanted it to. So that's good, and I didn't nuke my install. Rofi theme selector. And preview themes by hitting enter. Alright. Oh. Right, interesting. Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. Let's see. About that. Oh, there's so many of these. Whoa. Not so sure about a lot of these. Ooh, purple. I like the purple one. Sidebar? That's alright. Sidebar. Whoa. Well, that is weird, and it doesn't show up correctly. That's very Star Trek-like. If you want like a Star Trek themed one, I guess you can do that. My favorite one. Louise, whoa, there's so many. Jesus. Sidebar version 2, solarized. Like that one. Alt A. Now if I reopen Rofi, now it's cool looking, I guess. That's pretty cool. And then the most recent application I use is at the top. Dark. I don't know. I think this fits a bit better. So that one. No, that's up there. Is cool. I can install more flat packs from my Discover thing. And switch it back into this mode if I can. Okay. So I can set it back to floating if I want, and then I can do it this way, but I can also do that. So, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I will say that much. It works. I can do things in here. I can tile my windows. It's definitely a bit of a pain to set up if you're not used to this kind of thing. It is very config file heavy, which is not really something I want to mess with all the time. But yeah. Maybe awesome. Maybe this is like not the greatest one to start with. I don't know. A lot of people end up with like Arch plus Hyperland, so maybe that would have been a better one to start with. But hey, I mean, we got it working. I guess I could use this if I really wanted to, but there's just not that much integration, and like with Dolphin, as we saw here, it's like my home folder. Maybe because I installed this weird. Maybe because I installed everything to this SD card. Maybe if I had installed it to the actual internal drive, that would have been a bit better. Well, yeah, whatever. So maybe, but I mean, because it doesn't create like default home folders and all that other stuff. So I don't know. The window manager experience. It's a bit strange. But I mean, yeah, there's so much other stuff you'd have to set up that other desktop environments just already have set up. Like there's no volume control stuff set up. So if I do my media keys on here, they won't do anything, so I have nothing set up to handle that. Right? I had to install everything else myself, which is not entirely what I want to do. So So overall, the window manager experience is an interesting one. You have to set up everything yourself, which you quickly realize, which is fine if that's really what you want to do. But that's not really what I want to do. I do like having a system that's already set up and I can just have a turnkey solution. So there's that. Overall, though, I mean, if that's... It works pretty well to just kind of efficiently put the windows where you want them. But I think something more like Cosmic, maybe, that has the tiling mode. Yeah, so stuff like, you know, my KDE Plasma over here where I can, you know, tile it this way if I want to. And then I can have all the other stuff and I can have stuff floating and, you know, stuff like that. Is kind of how I like tiling. I don't need my entire system to only be around tiling and then have this awkward floating thing. And like, I like being able to minimize things and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah. It works, I guess, if that's what you're interested in. So that's about it. Bye.